Wait, Dark and Darker has been removed? Wait, whoa, what happened?
There's no shortage of
Hey,
horrible companies in the video game industry,
what
but there's
happened?
one that's been able to fly under the radar for way too long now, even though it's just as slimy and scummy as some of the more mainstream ones
Huh?
people like to spit on, and that's Nexon. You've probably heard of them because of MapleStory. That's by far their biggest game, their magnum opus, the cash cow that they're addicted to
Heard of
milking.
Maple
And
Story.
for a long time now, they've been able to
Never heard of
tiptoe around
Nexon.
in the shadows, hiding their stink from the public nostrils. The last month, they flew a little too close to the sun, and we could start to smell their odor. And I swear to God, it smelled like shit. About a month ago, they decided to start bullying a smaller developer named Iron Mace, who's working on a game that I am a massive fan of called Dark and
Oh,
Darker. I played.
they're the company that's been giving them shit. They're the company that's been saying they stole their shit. They've been trying to shut down Darker and Darker, bro. They can't, bro. Darker and Darker is like one of the few games I'm actually looking forward to this year. I love this game,
Every playtest so far, and I have been absolutely loving it.
bro.
But
Same.
love is
I'm
a
on all of
concept
them,
that doesn't exist at
bro. It's so
Nexon.
good.
Only cold, hard dollar bills that they were missing out on. They're like the Mr. Krabs of video games. So they
Mr.
started to
Krabs.
put Iron Mace in their crosshairs, claiming that the Dark and Darker developers stole from Nexon. They said that not only did they steal code from an unreleased project at Nexon called
Is it
P3,
true?
they stole assets from that project. And basically, the claims
I
boil
saw
down
no proof.
to there was an employee at Nexon back in 2021 who was working on a project called P3 that is similar to Dark and Darker. That employee apparently was talking about like leaving and starting their own company, kind of expanding upon this P3 idea. He ended up being fired, and then, fast forward to late 2022, we have Dark and Darker, which bears some resemblance to that P3 project. So Nexon is claiming that they stole from them, citing assets and code that was ripped directly from that unreleased project, as well as
Code.
idea theft, saying that this was a Nexon idea and thus they don't really have the right to use it. Which is why that title is you can't copyright a game genre.
Wait,
because
but
this
didn't
is
they
an
fire the guy who
extraction-style
wanted
game.
it
It's a
to be
genre
made?
that's well established. The
They
only
didn't even
spin
pursue
on it
it?
is instead of being guns like Tarkov,
Eh?
it's medieval weaponry, and it fucking bangs. This shit fucks. It is
bangs.
amazing. I love Dark and Darker.
It does bang. He's
And
not wrong.
unfortunately now, Nexon has gone so far as to issue a police raid on their studio headquarters, and as I understand it, they didn't find anything there. They reassured fans that it was quick and nothing was found, and there will be no delay in development and nothing to worry about. So
Let's
I'm guessing
go.
they went there and got a giant fucking nothing sandwich served to them. There was,
Hmm.
I suppose,
Right.
no stolen code, no hidden.
If there was,
secret
they would have found
documents
it.
from Nexon.
Stolen
No
code,
natty
like
secret formula.
surely they
just
would have found
some
it.
hardworking developers and their project. But that's not where this story stops. In fact, today, this is why we're talking about it. Today, Nexon has once again escalated this conflict and issued a full-blown cease and desist to Dark and Darker, which has led to it being pulled from Steam.
What?
So effectively shut down for the
Wait,
time
Steam-
being, all based on these claims that it was
Steam
stolen from them.
was cool with
of
it too?
course, Iron Mace denies all the allegations, saying that Dark and Darker's code was
Huh?
built from scratch and its assets were either purchased from the Unreal Marketplace or designed
Please don't go
internally.
to Epic.
And if you've played
No.
Dark and Darker, you're going to notice like half of the assets in this game come from the Unreal Marketplace.
Bro,
I
that
play a
shit
lot
hurts.
of shit on Steam new releases, and I can recognize half of the models in Dark and Darker from all of the other games I've played. And that's not a problem. The assets are there for a reason. Plus, it's still like in very early playtesting.
It is what it
stages,
is.
So of course they're going
Yeah.
to be using assets. I don't know what fucking assets they're even claiming are stolen from Nexon unless Nexon like has some kind of monopoly on the Unreal Marketplace where it's all their assets. They're like the kingpin and their
That'd be
drug
crazy.
empire is the Unreal Marketplace. It just doesn't make any sense because again, half or even maybe more than half of Dark and Darker uses just standard store-bought Unreal assets. So to me, the claim is extremely confusing. Like, I don't even feel like Phoenix Wright could make an argument that some of these assets are stolen from Nexon's unreleased P3 project because, again, so much of Dark and Darker is Unreal assets. Like, I can't imagine them being like, oh my god, that rock that's in the middle of that prison cell is actually from P3. I'd recognize it anywhere. That is a distinct rock that was developed
That
in
was
house
ours.
at Nexon. It's our
The one
pride
with the
and joy.
speck on top.
Oh my god, and
That one's
that
ours.
chalice that
I
players
remember
can
it.
collect, that golden goblet of fire, that was from
The one with the
Nexon.
red ruby. How could you forget it?
Yeah, you've stolen it from us.
How could you
Like,
forget
I
it?
don't know where there's even wiggle room for them to
True,
make
it's pretty
claims
crazy.
that some of these assets were stolen because so much is from fucking Unreal assets. But regardless, moving forward, Iron Mace developers have of course made a statement about this whole thing. They've said, to all our fans, we have recently been served a cease and desist letter and DMC takedown by Nexon regarding Dark and Darker based on distorted claims. We are currently working with our legal team to remedy this issue in the best
Oh,
way
but they
possible.
could come back.
Due to the sensitive legal nature of this
They
issue,
could come back
we
to
must be
Steam.
careful with our statements so as to not jeopardize our position.
Okay.
We ask for your understanding as we work to get the
I'd
game
hate-
back up as quickly as possible.
I'd hate if they like moved it to. This is like a personal thing. If they moved it to Epic, that shit would hurt my. That hurts so much, man. Trying to boot up Epic to play this shit like every other day or every day, every other week, whatever, bro. Oh, that hurt. It's just it takes too much. Takes too much.
Please know that we will do all that is possible for our fans.
Unless
Thanks.
a fat Epic
Very
update
sweet
comes
message. Throughout this entire discourse,
Fixing all the
Iron
bugs.
Mace has seemed extremely professional. But I just want to point that out. They have seemed like absolute sweethearts here in the face of bullshit. This, to me, I'll break this down and give my whole perspective on this after researching all of it. This, to me, feels like Nexon bullying a smaller company because they feel like they've missed out
True.
on a
Yeah.
golden goose here.
That's exactly like what's in my brain. It feels like they're pretty resentful of like or I don't know if resentful's the right word. I guess upset. That's the biggest word. They're upset that they like the P3 initiative that they had on their table has come to light by somebody else, but not even, by them, and it's doing successful, and that shit hurts. They don't like that.
Because Dark and Darker is becoming
Especially like
popular.
for somebody as small as the people who are making Darker and Darker. I don't think Darker and Darker is that big of a team. Like this is a smaller team, a newer team too. So like for a newer, smaller team to come out and do an idea that a big company turned down because they thought was shit, that shit's gotta hurt.
And they did have an idea that was similar to it called P3. P3 never got off the ground, Dark and Darker did. This really feels like it's almost some level of vengeance and spite against Dark and Darker's success. Nexon has hundreds and millions of dollars they can throw into the shitter at this and completely bleed Iron Mace dry since
Oh
they are
man, hopefully, like I'm saying with the team for Dark and Darker, last pause, hopefully this kind of setback getting off Steam market, cease and desist orders from them, hopefully this doesn't push back the game even more, man. The game is supposed to come out like Q4 this year, and that's their hope, bro. With this shit, it's probably even later now. Hopefully not.
smaller company and they're going to fight this
That
legal
should
battle
be so
tooth and nail, it
unfortunate.
seems, which is extremely upsetting considering these claims aren't 100% proven to be accurate anyway. In fact, at least
This is
according
just
to police
like-
raid, they didn't even find
this
any
is
evidence
wasting
to
time for
support
them.
the claims, but yet they've still managed to DMCA cease and desist this game and get it removed from Steam. And now Iron Mace is going to have to engage in a lengthy and very expensive legal battle
Yeah.
with this absolute titan of
That's
douchebaggery.
pretty unfortunate, man.
Nexon is just an absolute trash company, and even if every single one of their claims is accurate, 100% truthful, they're still a horrible, garbage piece of shit company regardless. Even from everything outside of Dark and Darker, even before this, they've been a terrible company, but this especially. And I'll go a step further. Maybe we're getting into dicey, spicy territory here, but I'm just gonna say it with my whole chest. If all of Nexon's claims are accurate, Dark and Darker did take that idea from Nexon and build upon it, and even if they used a couple of assets that they developed while working at Nexon, I don't give a fuck. In fact, I view them more as heroes. I respect them more
Damn.
if they did that.
I
Because
am-
Nexon
damn.
can suck the dirtiest part of my asshole.
Jesus,
I cannot stand that
damn.
company. I think that would be great if that really was the
That'd be
case.
great.
I don't
Holy
think
shit.
The Nexon
Days.
Corporation should
Yo.
have the legal right to have this stranglehold on a video game idea that they didn't even make themselves.
Jesus.
This idea was cooked up by the creative minds that were let go from Nexon in the first place.
True.
Thus, since they're no
They didn't
longer
want
at Nexon,
They said
I feel
go.
They should be able to explore that
True.
idea and build upon it privately.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked up. You don't want them there to like pursue that idea at all. And then when they go and pursue it, you get upset because it's working. That is some fucking pity shit. That is pretty fucking bad. But I'm not aware of like all the other like cases. It sounds like, bro, for Charlie to have like this type of reaction towards a they have had to stacked some truly diabolical shit.
Their own way at their own studio, even though that idea was something they may have had while working elsewhere. They are no longer working there. That company is no longer working on that project. Thus, the team that actually made the idea and the prototypes should be able to take that work and build upon it on their own. I don't know if that's a hot take, but again, assuming every claim from Nexon is
well, they said it was
even
shit,
still,
so yeah.
it makes it clear.
Why would they care if they think it's shit? Like, that's really the fucking craziest part. Like, now they care because it's not shit. They thought it was shit, which it wasn't. And now that it's provenly not shit, now they want to say that it's not shit and that they always had it. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't, like, what the fuck?
That the idea and the work was done by employees that were let go from Nexon. Thus, it shouldn't be their idea anymore, Nexon's idea. It should be the individual's idea who actually came up with it in the first place. Thus, I feel like they should have the right to continue to work on it if they choose to. But again, it's important to reiterate that as of right now, there's still no real.
That seems fair, but you know, like in a business-centric, upper levels shit like that, it probably happened. Like, there's probably stipulations, some rules, whatever fucking shit going on.
Evidence against Iron Mace, nothing that's really supporting Nexon's big claims of stolen code, stolen assets, and shit like that. So we're just gonna have to wait to see how all this unfolds, but it's really disappointing to see that Dark and Darker is no longer up on Steam because another playtest was right around the corner that I was extremely excited for, as were a lot of people. So hopefully this situation can get
Bro, he's
resolved
right.
quickly.
He's right. Oh my god. We're almost at the 2-month marker. He's fucking right. The 2-month marker for Darker and Darker was about to hit. And we're about to get the playtest.
Yeah, that's about it. So yeah.
Oh man, that's so bad, bro. That's pretty unfortunate. I was looking forward to that shit. It was like my most hyped game this year for sure. Like, I love that shit. It's so much fun. I've been missing it for like the past 2 months, man. Hopefully they can get some shit sorted and hopefully this doesn't take too long. Hopefully the right thing's done, you know?